Today I have bought the Rw15 propeller pump by Jebao. Now I have it on a 5x2x2 tank, which I will now show you. Now first thing you will notice is the controller is different to the WP40 controller, but it is no different to use. It's very easy to sync up, and to be fair, feels pretty solid and alright to go. Now currently I have it on C mode, which alternates between the two pumps. As you'll see, that one stops, and then it swaps back. Now this is with it 2 bars down, and the pumps are aimed away from any corals because they have been throwing them around. For example, those 2 Monty frags were both at the front of the tank, and on an earlier attempt at this video they have been moved. Now as you can see, the Xenia in particular takes the brunt of the punishment. These pumps are very, very powerful and not recommended for a soft coral tank. If you've got a similar sized tank and they're asking this which pumps to go for, if it's soft or LPS, I strongly advise going for the Rw8s, as the 15s are beyond ridiculous, to be fair. They easily support a 6 or 7 foot tank, in my opinion. This tank's 5x2x2, as I say. I haven't seen many reviews on these pumps, so I thought I'd do one myself. This is my first YouTube commentary, so don't expect it to be brilliant. We'll now show you the wave mode, which is pretty much anyone with a Jebao pump's favourite. You can't really see the water movement on top, and I don't want to get my phone too close to the water. But you can hear some sloshing already. This is at full power now. Most corals are fine in it. Seems to confuse the fish every now and then a bit though, but in general it's fine. This is with them aimed almost directly at each other, so they slow each other down a bit. So as I say, my torch coral and cat coral take the brunt of the punishment. You can, well, it's stopped now, but you could see some of my corals that were glued down before I added these pumps got dislodged. So there it is on wave mode. Again, I'll show you the level of movement. Next is wave 2, which is sort of a gradual incline and then it slows back down. It sort of pulses rather than jolts the water. Does seem more gentle, but as you can see here, the Xenia is taking the bulk of the punishment, same as that cat coral, and as previously said, the torch coral, similar sort of situation, and you can already see dust starting to rise. Next is else mode. Now even in an SPS dominated tank, this has been a bit brutal on the fish and corals. Most of them do duck away, or at least go into the corners where the current isn't as bad. To be awkward, they're not doing it now, but they were earlier. And I seem to have found a sweet spot where it doesn't bother most of my more delicate corals. But as I say, these are very powerful pumps. Anyone considering them for a soft coral tank that's 5 foot long, I strongly recommend the Rw8s. And obviously over time they will lower the power, but this water was crystal clear before I turned them on, and that's how much dust and rubbish they've kicked up. Now I've switched it back to C just to finish the video, as there isn't much else to show. You can control these pumps with their power, but on the higher modes I've found they just don't seem to drop that much. They do lower the power, it is noticeable, but for soft corals and LPS, as already said, they do give them some serious punishment. I mean, those zoas down at the bottom in a sheltered area have closed as a result. They'll open up when they get bored. But one thing I have noticed is, especially with this coral, this Acropora, which has been really awkward for getting any polyp extension. Since I've had these, I've had quite nice polyp extension. That one seems to have dropped a bit, but it never really showed much anyway. And my staghorns, again, have started to show it again. Now, I've had a lot of trouble with polyp extension with this tank because my phosphates are relatively high. but these pumps are just incredible. They're worth every penny I paid. I mean, I got them off Fish Street, but there's countless other suppliers, and they are very, very good pumps. So this is not a biased review. I don't work for any of the companies that make them. I just wanted to show people who are questioning for a 5-foot tank like I was what to expect. So there you go, and I hope you enjoyed the video. It's my first attempt at a YouTube video, so don't be surprised that it's not particularly good. If you have any questions, drop it in the comment box and I'll try and reply.